put in perspective by how affordable. Talking about there's an agent in Houston, $300,000 over asking.
Right. Yeah.
Just this past month.
Yeah, that is crazy numbers right there.
That is a whole house here.
So we saw a lot of that in 21 and the first part of 22 that we would have homeowners offer. It started to be 5,000 more, then maybe it got to 10,000 more over list price, and you would get 10 to 20 offers. I mean, it was insane back in 21. The rates were really low. The inventory level, I started paying attention to what the inventory was doing, and we were less than 500 homes, active properties for sale. So the demand was high. There was no inventory.
Listeners, it is season 2, episode 10, and we are bringing you today 35 years, yes, 35, the big 3-5 of residential real estate experience. If you have an inkling of curiosity about this current market, what it looks like compared to other markets, where we're headed, Tom Horner is going to be delivering you some incredible value today on this episode in the next 30 minutes. Give it a listen right now. And as always, thank you for listening. And we are back. Episode 10, season 2 of the Market Shakers podcast. And I have right next to me, some say he is Father Time himself. Been in the industry before I was a thought. Tom Horner, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. We just discovered you've been in the business 1990.
1990, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Was, a couple of years ago. I can't believe that it's been really 35 years since I've started this crazy business. Just kind of like what you're doing right now. I started out selling and helping buyers and sellers and trying to figure it out. And every year it got a little bit better. And it was just a lot of fun, kind of doing it in Augusta.
I mean, you have been in this industry for, I wonder what percentage of active practicing real estate professionals, like if there's a percentage, right? How many have been around that for that long? And I would say not many.
Oh, when you go to like the Board of Realtors luncheon and they say everybody 25 years, 35 years, I know Jim Corson, Hope Mills, maybe a few other ones that is, Gardell Lewis has been there. So yeah, there's some, but it's not many. Unfortunately, a lot of the people I started with, because I started at Nordahl Realty.
Nordahl.
So Rusty Nordahl was a home builder, had his own brokerage, and I went to go work for him to kind of learn the ropes. Joe Croft, who was the manager over there at the time, we were over on the south side at Tobacco Road, and ended up learning a lot from Joe, from Rusty, learning about the ranch style homes, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. Rusty he was kind of a production track builder in the Augusta area before it really was, before Ivy, before Hurricane, before DR, that he was doing those. And all across the south side, you would see all his product, and you knew it was one level, had a garage, and it was 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Good product, easy to sell. Average price was probably about $55,000, if you can imagine. Since the average price today is about $325,000.
Absolutely bonkers.
Yes.
Bonkers.
Should have bought more property back then. And
well, we
live and learn.
We very well will probably be saying that 30 years from now too.
Yeah.
And Kevin Kelly will really enjoy that first intro. That was really from a dad, because I'm going to send this to him when it's all said and done.
Yes.
But you're really not, you're really, I wouldn't consider a senior citizen by any scope. You got in this industry at a pretty young age.
Yes, I got in when I was 24. So I was trying to figure out, what am I going to do? Couldn't figure it out. My dad was actually also in real estate, and he worked for Sherman and Hemstreet here downtown Augusta. So it was Billy Frankie and Hugh Conley owned Sherman and Hemstreet, and he was doing commercial and then more. They were getting into residential. Sherman and Hemstreet was. They were really kind of small. Did more insurance. Did commercial. Did some developing, and then they started getting into residential. But he wanted me to start off with kind of learning from somebody else. And Rusty had the product, the houses, so I could do open houses. I was in meetings in the morning, learning how to do everything. And then every afternoon I was going, being more like a site agent is what we would call it today. And trying to figure out how to deal with people. And, looking back on it now, I was, off Tobacco Road. I was off Meadowbrook Road. I'm lucky to be here today.
And we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. Fair housing is coming. We'll kick this door down here in a second. Yes. Your dad actually taught, or you told me about a little exercise your dad did for you, and we're teaching that in our team today. Today, as we're really told me about this a few months ago, probably 6 months ago, and I'm actually very heavy on it now, and it's the exercise with the calendar.
Okay, so talking about how your work week is going.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
if you're not putting in the hours, how can you reasonably expect to make a living that's comparable to any of your peers?
So my dad, we would have business meetings, and he would always talk about nobody's putting in the time and the effort. Nobody's putting in the hours. You're coming in and you're coming in at 10, shooting a breeze with everybody. Then you're going to lunch till 1:30. Then you're doing a couple of things. And then there's broker open house with beer and wine, and you go do that. And then next thing you know, you go home and you start it all over again. And so what are you doing to work to get business? And unfortunately for me, he would bring me in front of the whole sales group, and we would go through my week, and he would say, all right, what did you do on Monday? And we would go through Monday, and then, because I know on Wednesday you played golf all afternoon, and then Friday you were playing golf.
Land.
And then walking land. And then Saturday you were at the Georgia game. And then Sunday you were recovering from the Georgia game. So how do you expect to make any sales if you're not putting in the time and the effort?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was going, a good point, and so then I didn't know at the time that I was we now preach about the morning routine.
Yep.
And so I'm an early riser. And so I would make sure that I was up early and getting in. In fact, there was a lot of military people, PCS in from Germany. And so I could go and get on the phone and try to talk to them in the early 90s when it was Fort Gordon, just so I could help them when they arrived here to Augusta.
How are you finding those people in Germany? There's a phone book back then.
I had it was more with Fort Gordon housing, just contacts that you have that,
they stopped kind of really allowing that.
Yeah. And it was just more of, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And so it was some people that I knew that was willing to help me kind of get me names and numbers. I think some of it was like a third party kind of relocation type of deal too, that I paid a fee to get some of those names, but it helped me a lot to get those numbers and to just, I learned the power of just communicating with everybody. They loved the fact that I was, constantly in touch with them, keeping them up to date. So when they came here to Augusta, they felt like they already kind of knew what was going on, what the lay of the land was, and where they wanted to be as far as schools and, the area with grocery and such.
And you mentioned, and I'll build on this, you said, it's not what you know, it's who you know, but I'll take it a step further to who you know to deliver value to. Yeah. You're who you know only goes so far. No. But if you're delivering value to them, now it means something a little more. And you were delivering value to these people.
Yeah, just give you an opportunity. I mean, that's all I wanted, an opportunity. And so it's, you go out and hustle, you go try to make it happen, you go show the service, showing people that you're willing to take care of them. When somebody's coming in from another country or, another area, they're just really not used to. They don't understand the Augusta area, the CSRA, and so we're cheerleaders for our area. And the local knowledge we have is helps out families all over, from dealing with local lenders to inspectors to repair people to keeping up with them after the sale to make sure that they know the best plumber, the electrician, or if they're adding on to the house or whatever it may be. The service really never ends to kind of help keep that communication open. So then, when they're interested in buying or selling again, or if they have a friend, they're thinking of you.
There's and one of the reasons I thought of you when we were kind of planning our guests out for this year. The Grateful Dead have a fantastic quote on Uncle John's Band. And it's, when life looks like Easy Street, there's danger at your door. And, for the last, I've been in the business, I'm willing to admit this, for real estate, just seems like seems like Easy Street. You've been able to buy residential real estate, almost reckless abandon. We're still seeing some people in this marketplace screw it up, which is a whole nother conversation. But, if you've paid over appraisal value, you've done this, you've done that, and this market has really given us a lot of grace. Consumer confidence is higher. Recent election. There's a lot of things, but if I hear one more person suggest that interest rates are falling, in a significant amount anytime soon, to me, it's things like that. And so when I thought of you, because you have truly seen every single possible way a market can go when it comes to residential real estate. And so I'm just curious to know, from your perspective, you've got the doomers, you've got the gloomers, you've got the reckless optimists. But where do you really feel that we're at? Like, what is your gut telling you in terms of how the market is now, where the future can be? And what are you saying?
Well, I think that we are blessed to be in Augusta with all the medical and the military that we have around here, SRS, all of that. That really does kind of help with the employment. It's when you're looking at the interest rates, I'm always looking at is it labor over inflation? Are we looking at employment numbers? Are we looking at the jobless claims? What are we looking at to see if that Fed is going to reduce the Fed funds rates a little bit more, which may help out with the mortgage. But now we're going to be in that 6% range. We may get a little bit below. I would hope we would get a little bit lower, but it doesn't seem that way. It's kind of a roller coaster type of ride. So you need to really kind of pay attention and get with the local lender so you can make that decision. But we're still very affordable in this area. So it's always a supply and demand issue that helps with finding some. So sellers are really reaping the benefit that they're staying in their homes, especially over the last few years, that the houses have really increased in value. And then that our average price being $325,000, that you have buyers that can afford it, especially with dual income properties or dual income families.
Correct. And to put this in perspective, Georgia buyers' perspective, I think buyers have it so good in this state with the due diligence, the way we handle due diligence. South Carolina has a couple things that can mess you up a little bit, but Georgia has one of the cleanest due diligence periods. And talked about this off camera, but put in perspective by how affordable. Talking about, there's an agent in Houston, $300,000 over asking.
Right. Yeah.
Just this past month.
Yeah, that is crazy numbers right there.
That is a whole house here.
So we saw a lot of that in 21 and the first part of 22, that we would have homeowners offer. It started to be 5,000 more, then maybe it got to 10,000 more over list price, and you would get 10 to 20 offers. I mean, it was insane back in 21. The rates were really low. the inventory level, I started paying attention to what the inventory was doing, and we were less than 500 homes, active properties for sale. So the demand was high. There was no inventory. It was a terrible, really, situation to try to help buyers. The buyers were getting very frustrated because if you really didn't have cash, you were, that the sellers didn't want to deal with you. And so you were having to try to find alternate ways, maybe go talk to their local bank and see if they could get some sort of like temporary loans, so then they could turn around and get the financing,
bridge loan,
anything
they could.
But it was not a healthy market. We could not withstand it. The agents couldn't even withstand that. They were making good money, but they were not helping out their clients. And when I look at our agents at Blanchard and Calhoun, and we do look at helping out our clients, doing the best we can for them, looking out for their best interest. And when you have a client that is losing a house over and over and over again, it wears you out. And so they would come into the office and said, it's just not the business for me. If I can't help somebody, and then we have people that, maybe not playing by the same rules as we try to play by, and it just makes for very frustrating times. But the affordability is still there. Again, getting back to your question, is that Augusta has always been very affordable, and that the Columbia County is still moving in the right direction. When you have like a 2 or 3% increase in prices, it's just a nice steady increase to build up some nice equity in there. And Richmond County is doing good too throughout. And we'll see what happens with the after effects of the hurricane, especially in Richmond County and West Richmond.
And for those listening, we're going to be having a guest here in a few months that's going to come on and really talk about their experience with Hurricane Harvey. So look out for that episode. That'll be coming here in a few months. We're going to get some incredible insight on that. But you're right. It was really tough to be an advocate for buyer agents, for your buyers, when your only answer was, I guess you got to pay $20,000 more than what they're asking if you want the house, right? And you're navigating that. You're navigating appraisal gap contingencies. You're navigating escalation clauses, which that's a whole hell in a handbasket right there.
Yeah, we were on the fly trying to figure out what clauses to kind of write. The GAR, their legal department, was helping everybody with trying to figure it out. It was not just in Augusta; it was across the country, across the state, and it just made for tough times. And then now we are dealing with some families who did pay $20,000 over, and they're trying to sell their property. And we come in and we're doing our CMA, our market analysis of the property, and come to find that the market has not caught up to the overall where they bought the house before. So it is making where they may have to bring some money to the table.
And
especially like a VA loan.
VA, FHA, when you're putting those mortgage premiums. For those who don't know, an FHA loan or VA is a government-backed thing, and there are fees. While you may not have as big of a down payment, there are fees involved with these type of loans.
Sure, the funding fee with the VA and everything. You're really getting well over 100%. And we do in 24, we did over 30% of our loans in the whole market were VA loans. So we're very, we love having Fort Eisenhower here. We love having all the retired military and everything that is here in our area that make it so great that they're out here moving people in, making sure that we're kind of always growing.
So these days, bit of it's still seller friendly, seller skewed, like what, 3.5, 4 months of inventory right now?
Yeah, a little bit less. It depends on the area. Columbia County.
Inventory's fallen this year. It hasn't fallen in 2 years.
So overall, we were tracking before the end of September. We were getting up to about 2,100 active homes across all areas, Aiken, Columbia, Richmond County. We're just below 1,700 active homes now. And so it's steadily come down. The sales have not been there because more people are not, um, they're trying to get their houses ready. They've got other things on their mind to try to get out of the devastation that was caused by Helene. So there's still a strong seller's market when you look at the overall inventory and the demand that we have.
And I believe, because it's a slightly skewed seller's market, I believe, buyer agents has good buyer representation has more value to it now than we've seen the last 5 years.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
in your opinion, what are some things how are buyer agents really delivering value?
Well, I think the main thing with some of the new changes that we have, the buyers, if they sit down with the agent and talk with them about what their needs are and have the agent listen to what their needs are, then you have somebody that again is in your corner, that is looking at the houses, looking to make sure that you're getting a good deal, making sure that you are getting kind of what you and your family, would like to have. Are you, because everybody's needs are a little bit different. Are you downsizing because your kids are going to college and you want to kind of get a smaller home, or are you getting married and having babies and want to increase the size of your house? So it's having somebody, an advocate that can then look out for you. And also when you get into the pending process, it's the appraisal, it's the inspections, it's the repairs, it's the walkthrough. It is just a laundry list of items that the agent takes care of for you. So you can worry about just lining up a mover and kind of moving on in.
And we're looking at these CMAs. We're looking at CMA as a comparative market analysis and making sure we're not overpaying for a house. But I think it's also very important. That's something that people are really starting to talk about is, what can I get for a house now? Right? Where is there any wiggle room from that buyer? The house has been on the market for 60 days. And where is Matt, how low can I get them? Those are all questions that, we're being asked now, right?
Yeah, that's tough. Each individual seller is different. So you gotta go try to figure it out as best you can, but you can try. You can see if the houses are on the market, 2 months now compared to where we were talking about 21, where they were on the market for hours. I mean, it really wasn't even a day in most cases. That you can negotiate, but what do you need as a buyer? Do you need the sales price off, or do you need more upfront costs to kind of help with the closing costs that your lender is charging? And so a lot of young families probably need the upfront money more than they do the actual price off the house.
So there's that, and something that you're really big on is our absorption rate, right? That is our way of being able to help a homeowner temper their expectations. And it's an emotional thing, right? People want it done quick and clean. Some people want the absolute top dollar. And what are absorption rates, and how do we use absorption rates to help our sellers know if they should drop the price of their house? They should, take that offer that comes in $15,000 below asking.
We had absorption rates that we try to give everybody. In fact, every Tuesday at Blanchard and Calhoun, we do our real estate roadmap where we go over different information, but we try to also go over the market data, so we can give you, if you're talking to a seller, that then they can understand the market and understand because there's all different types of personalities. So we want to make sure if you're a numbers person that you have that in front of you. And the absorption rates basically shows each price range and the months of inventory that it would take to get to kind of get out of that price range. So the months of inventory that it would take to sell those properties. And so a lot of times we're seeing less than a month's supply of homes especially some of the lower prices in Columbia County. So, the seller can be a little more aggressive in there. Some of the other, if we start getting up in the prices, we start seeing the months of inventory increase to like 3, 4, 5 months. So we may need to be more conservative in our pricing as far as the seller. Doesn't mean they can't get a good price for it. It's just a matter of how we're looking at it as far as how aggressive do they want to be in the pricing. Then we can talk about appraisals and everything, because that is, you're going to have to deal with that every time. But they're looking at our numbers. The appraisers are looking at our numbers, and so if we can, we can usually kind of back that up. We're not going to go really 20,000 over, but we can go make it a few thousand more than what we need. And then it also helps the buyers too, when you're meeting with the buyers, that they understand where the price range that they're looking of, what the numbers mean to them. So can they go and negotiate a little bit harder on a property, or do they feel like that if it's less than a month of inventory, they may be in a multiple offer situation? So then they're going to have to be a little more aggressive with their offer.
Just lost 2 houses yesterday to multiple offer situations.
Yeah, it's interesting that you got multiple offer situations, which is no fun dealing with. In 2024, the home sales were the lowest they've been since 1995, and yet the inventory levels are still really low. So then now you're dealing with multiple offers in certain price range.
Why? Why? How are we here? What do you think? That doesn't make that on paper. That shouldn't make sense, but it makes sense. But it doesn't make sense, right? It's a whole new territory.
Mm-hmm. You got to really just pay. Before COVID in 2018, 2019, we were about close to 3,000 active properties for sale. So when you look at it, and we're just below 1,700, that's almost cut in half. But in 21, we were less than 500. So we're well above where we were in 21. But I would love to see it in the 2,500 range right there of active homes. That would help us get closer to a balanced market.
So is the solution there build more homes?
Well, I don't know if you can build enough homes to get it.
Right.
But, more people, I think, looking to kind of make lifestyle moves. I think that those are the things. I think that Augusta will have more people moving in, some people moving out. So we will hopefully see more activity. But yeah, it's just hard. Aiken County is building homes left and right out there.
They are.
Aiken County is outperforming the other counties in the new home world. They're doing fantastic. Edgefield County is also doing great. And so
more builder friendly.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. Right now it is.
And local builder can come in there and just makes more sense. It's business, right?
Yes.
Business is business.
Think that people that are locked in with a lower interest rate, that's why we don't have that much inventory right now?
Fantastic question from the audience. Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, that is some of it. Yeah. A lot of people that have, in fact, we're doing some loan assumptions right now for people who have to move. But if you've got a 3% rate and the rates are over 6% right now, that's hard to make a move.
Yeah.
So
don't want to.
That does have a factor in it. Yeah.
It's a gut punch.
Yeah.
It is. It's a gut punch. It's
one
of the things that we're watching is people are starting to get to a point where their equity, if they sell, they can put enough down where their monthly payment is starting to become pretty comparable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And those days are approaching, and that's going to, as every day comes closer, every month, every new mortgage payment, as long as pricing, housing stays pretty comparable, and we anticipate it does. I'm not a doomer and gloomer. I'm very positive and looking forward to the real estate market ahead. But it's not. We're going to start to see that. We're going to start to see sellers or homeowners go, "Oh, okay, I can sell my house now." And then if I put 100,000 down or 200 or whatever it is, and my payment might go from $1,000 a month to $2,200. And if that means I get that house on the golf course or wherever I want to do, now that starts to make, you're not going from $1,000 a month payment to 2,000. Now you're looking at maybe a couple hundred more bucks a month.
Yeah, there's some families that are definitely going to pay attention or stay in the house with the interest rate, but life happens. So there is a lot of families that they need to get a larger home, or they need to downsize, or job is going to take them out of the area and they're going to have to sell and figure it out. So it's um, luckily that we have a lot of different options for people to help them in that area. And that home equity is definitely at the highest level it's been in our lifetime.
Boom. All right. So we're going to have a couple of little questions to send us off here. What's next for BNC? What are the big goals for the Blanchard and Calhoun Evans office, besides, staying in the shadow of that is the West Augusta office, our greatness?
Yes, the West. Well, we try not to say, Matt, there's West Augusta and Evans, but Andrew Bowles and I kind of do everything together and doing the training. And so really our goal is to make sure that both Evans and West Augusta have got the tools and got the training, and that they listen to us with that training and tools, Matt and team.
And team. There's a lot of us now.
And to make sure that they're given the level of service that is required in today's market. I mean, there's 2,350 agents in our market. And so we want to make sure that we're standing out above everybody else. And I think we do a good job, that we're reaching out, communicating, kind of doing our ninja selling system that kind of does help out with just, staying in touch with people and making sure they know that we want to help them turn a house into a home.
Boom. Love it. Okay. And we asked this question. Don't worry, we can pause. We need to. We can cut the dead time out. So we asked this question, though, and for every guest that comes on the show. 2025. Wow. First time, right? What are you most excited about for the Augusta area? Be real estate or not real estate related. 2025. What's got you really pumped about our market, our entire community?
Our entire community. I mean, I think it's just that, watching the community build back from the hurricane. I mean, there are a lot of families that are displaced, and I was super proud, super excited that how the community kind of came together during this. I mean, I don't think anybody understood, hurricane coming through Augusta, of the damage and what was going on, but we are rebuilding. We're going to be better than ever. We may not have as many trees, but I'm excited that we are together. I love the Augusta area, and it is something that, watching just the community just kind of come together, I think is really exciting, because we've always kind of come together in some sense, but we really stepped up to the plate in the past months, and I expect that it's going to need over this year also.
I love it. Tom, it's been a fantastic 30 minutes. I was told we got to shorten the show a little bit.
Yeah,
I know.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, all 30 years of it. 30 plus, 34
30
years,
plus,
35 years,
35 years.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. Listeners, hope you all have learned so much. If you've gotten this far, certainly have a lot of notes that you could have been taking. So, Tom, thanks again.
Thanks, Matt.